Welcome guys. So in this video we're going to be solving 100 questions for Post-UTME Mathematics, and this is a full revision. It's a full revision and it's going to cover 100 questions, probably 101. So I want to see how far I can go with this very problem. Now in this very video I will also make sure that I explain the topics we see. So it means I might spend more time explaining that topic so that in case you see something very similar, all you have to do is to understand it. So this is also a lesson. We're not just solving questions here. We are also trying our best to understand the topic very well. So now this could go for almost any university. Now there's this misconception that students have. They just feel that they can't use, jam pass questions, WAEC pass questions for Post-UTME. Yes, Post-UTME are actually, they could go more, they could give more difficult questions, but the base is this: maths remains maths. Maths doesn't change. So what you're going to be seeing in the exam, you would basically see some SS1 topics, some SS2 topics, some further maths topics. So it's actually a combination. So you don't go and say because it's Post-UTME, you're not going to treat some topics because they're very simple. No, you don't treat topics because you already know them. That's the only reason for you not to treat a topic. Oh, I already understand this very topic. So that's why I might say, okay, I won't treat this topic. Now, if you're writing Post-UTME in any university, what you have to do is to sit behind, watch this very video till the end, get your pen, get your paper, and start writing. So the first one says, the probability of either event A or B is 5/6, while that of event B is 1/6. If the probability of both A and B is 1/2, what is probability of event A? So first things first, there's this formula you have to know for probability of events. So probability of A or B, something like this, is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B. Yep. But the thing is, there could be an intersection. So when you draw this very set, you find out that, A and B might actually intersect. So this means that their intersect would be appearing twice. So we need to remove that very intersect once, A intersection B. So this formula holds. You need to know this very formula. It's very important. Now, we have it that A union B, which is A or B, is 5/6. So this is 5/6 equal to probability of A. That's what we're looking for. So that's probability of A. And then probability of B, that's 1/6. Probability of A and B is 1/2. So this is 1/2. Now, basically, I could move everything to the other side. So this is 5/6 minus 1/6 plus 1/2 equal to probability of A. So what I've just done is to move everything to the other side, apart from the probability of A. Now, I could take LCM here. So I could take the LCM here. So 6 divided by 6 is 1, and then times 5 is 5. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. And then plus 6 divided by 2, that's 3. Times 1, it's 3, equal to the probability of A. So 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. So this is 7/6. So that's what the answer would be. But here's the thing. There's a problem with this very equation. And in fact, some questions you're going to be seeing, the data is going to be inconsistent. The information is going to be inconsistent with what we're supposed to be having. So what I mean by this is, we're talking about probability here. It's not possible to get a value that's more than 1. So in this case, for us to be getting, this is one whole number, 1/6. This is not possible. It's not correct when it comes to maths. Now, one might argue that, what would we then pick? Most times, I leave questions like this. I don't answer them. Yep. Sometimes in Post-UTME, the trick is if you answer a question, it means you actually do not know it. So you need to find out what your school does. Now, this very question was from Uniport. This very question. I think for the first few questions here, I picked them from Uniport. So this is a standard Post-UTME question. However, the answer is supposed to be 7/6, but that's wrong. So there's something not right about the equation. So with that, let me proceed to the next one. The chances of three independent events, X, Y, and Z, occurring are 1/2, 2/3, and 1/4, respectively. What are the chances of Y and Z only occurring? So this time around, we only need Y and Z to occur. And of course, since these events are independent, what we're going to be doing is we need Y and Z to occur. If these two are occurring, it means X has to not occur. Yes, X has to not occur. Now, probability of X is 1/2. So, if X does not occur, what we're going to be having is 1 minus 1/2. And 1 minus 1/2 is actually still 1/2. Because in probability, if you want to get the value of something not happening, we're going to do 1 minus that very thing. So that was why I did 1 minus this. Okay, so now probability of, so we're going to call it this way. This is what it's going to be. So it's going to be X prime intersection Y intersection Z, or AND. Okay, so I'm going to do 1/2, which is for X prime, times 2/3, which is for Y, and then times 1/4. So like I said, if you notice, take notes, you must do this. You must do this. So it's only a coincidence that this time around we're actually getting the same answer, because 1 minus 1/2 is still 1/2. Okay, so we could say 2 cancel out 2 here. So when we multiply the top, this will be 1/3 times 4 is 12. So the answer to that is going to become what? C. So this is what we're going to be having. C. Next one. Some red balls were put in a basket containing 12 white balls and 16 blue balls. If the probability of picking a red ball from the basket is 3 out of 7, that's 3/7, how many red balls were introduced? So first of all, let's do 12 plus 16. Let's do 12 plus 16. So when we add this up, we're going to have 28. So the total amount of balls will become 28 plus R. So that's plus the red balls that we added. Plus the red balls that we added. So this is the total. Now, probability of picking up something. So probability of picking red. So we're picking red. Now this will become the number of red balls that we have divided by the total number of all the balls inside. So probability of red was 3/7, it was given to us. The number of red balls were R because they added the red balls. So that was the number that was added. Divided by the total number was 28 plus R. The next thing we're going to do is to cross multiply. So this will multiply this. So that's 7 times R equals 3 brackets 28 plus R. So this is what we have. Next, 7 times R is 7R. 3 times 28 is 84 plus 3R. So what do we do next? We collect like terms. So this will be 7R. Take away 3R equal 84. Okay, 7R take away 3R, that's going to be 4R equal to 84. Then next, we're going to divide both sides by 4. So R is going to become 84 over 4. So R is going to be 21. So it means 21 balls, 21 red balls were added. So that's what we have. Okay, the next one. Let's not waste time. Question 4. Find the coordinate of the midpoint of the line joining this and this. So if we're looking for midpoint, midpoint, the middle of some numbers, is going to be the sum of those numbers divided by 2. It's as if we're looking for average, or you could say we're looking for the middle number. So in this case, every point must have x and y. So our first point was 2, 7. So this means we could call this x1, call this one y1, because every point must have x and y. Then our second point was 1, minus 6. So this will become our x2, this will become y2. So x1 is 2 plus x2 is 1 over 2. Then y1 is 7, y2 is minus 6 over 2. So what I did was a substitution. Now this very topic is found in coordinate geometry or analytic geometry, or you could even call it the straight line because it discusses straight lines. So 2 plus 1 is 3, so this will be 3 over 2. Then 7 minus 6 is 1 over 2. So the answer to this question is B. And that's it. Let's move on. So the next one, an equilateral triangle of side 2 cm is inscribed in a circle. You have to find the area of that very circle. Now this very question comes out a lot. It comes out a lot. So what you're going to do is this. First of all, whenever you hear that a triangle is inscribed in a circle, like I said, this video has 100 questions. So I'm not going to make it very, very long. I'm going to try my best to reduce it. It's going to be long, but I'm going to try my best to reduce it. Okay. So the radius of that very circle is always the side divided by root 3. Yep. So this is what we're going to be having. This is what we're going to be having. So if you calculate for the radius of that very circle, you're going to be getting s over 2. And in this case, the side is 2 cm. So this will be 2 over root 3. So this is the radius of the circle. So whenever you hear that a triangle is inscribed in a circle, so this is the circle. So we have a circle and then there's a triangle in it. So something like this. The radius, so someone who wants to find it, you could put O here and then find the radius, because the angle here is going to be 60. So here is 120. I don't want to go through all of those mathematics. But R is going to become 2 over root 3. Okay, so R is equal to 2 over root 3. The area of a circle, area is pi R squared. So this will be pi into 2 over root 3 squared. So this is pi. 2 squared is 4, because 2 squared means 2 times 2. Then root 3 squared is just 3. So this will then become 4 over 3 pi centimeters squared. So that is what the answer would be, 4 over 3 pi centimeters squared. I just hope this video does not lag. Now meanwhile, I've noticed that most students complain that the videos are not clear. Well, this is because when you start watching a video on YouTube, the first thing it does is to set the quality to the speed, to the internet connection you have, the speed of that very internet connection. So you can always change this if you feel that YouTube has made a wrong judgment. So all you have to do is to click on the settings at the top of the screen while watching this video. Click on settings. When you click on settings, you're going to see quality. Then when you click on quality, you're going to go to advanced. Then advanced, you're going to see 1080p, 720p, 480p, 360p. You could put it at any of these two. Any of these two will be clear. Either 1080 or 720. Any of them will be clear. Okay. Question 6. The chord PQ is equal to the radius R of the circle. Find the length of the arc PQ. Now, for this very kind of problem, whenever a chord is equal to the radius, what we're going to be having is an equilateral triangle. So the angle is 60 degrees. So angle is equals 60 degrees. So I'm trying to screen record. I just hope this video does not lag. So the angle is 60 degrees. So we're asked to find the length of the arc. Now length of arc is theta over 360 degrees times 2 pi radius. So that would be 60 degrees divided by 360 degrees times 2 times pi times the radius. Let's see, it's in terms of r, that's good. So I didn't have to find it. But it's actually easy to find. I think there's an equation that's going to need us to find the radius, but it's easy to find. Now, 60 and 360 would have 1 over 6. Then 2 here is 1 and into this is 3. So at the top, what's remaining is pi r divided by 3. So the answer is C. So that's how we go about an equation like that. Okay, question 7. If 260 base 9 divided by 100 base 2 is equal to 66 base n, or to find the value of n. So the first thing I want to do is to convert each of them to base 10. So 269, so I need to multiply every single digit here by 9. So we're going to have 2 times 9 plus 6 times 9 plus 0 times 9. Now, each of these 9s would have the power of 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is 0, 1, 2. Now, this would be 2 times 9 squared is 81. This is 6 times 9 plus 0 times 1. Now, this is 162 plus 54 plus 0. Now, if you add this up, you should get 216. So that's what this would be. I don't want this. I need this space to be enough. Okay, now for 100 base 2, that's going to be an easy one. So the only significant number here is the 1. So we're just going to say this is equal, hold on. So this is equal 1 times 2 to the power of 2 because we have 0, 1, 2. All right, so this is 1 times 4, which is 4. No need for the other zeros. I don't think I want to stress myself about that. Okay, and then for the 66 base n, this will become 6 times n plus 6 times n. So the n will have power of 0 first and then 1. So this will be 6n plus 6. That's for that very one. Gosh, I really hoped I didn't have to be, managing space. Okay, so the question says 260 base 9, which is 216, divided by 100 base 2, which is 4, is equal to 66 base n, which is 6n plus 6. Now, when 216 is divided by 4, we should get 54. So this is 54 equals 6n plus 6. Now we could take like terms. So this would be 54, take away 6 equal to 6n. Now, 64 take away 6 is 48 equal to 6n. Now to get n, divide both sides by 6. So n is equal to 8. So that will be the answer to the equation. It's 8. All right, next one. A binary operation asterisk is defined on the set of rational numbers. Okay, sorry, let me go again. A binary operation asterisk on the set of rational numbers is defined as this. Or to find -1 operation 2. Now, you've taken JAM, so this topic is not new. This is binary operation where we combine two non-empty sets. Now for this very equation, I don't think the answer is here, but let's give it a try. So we have -1 combined with 2. What this tells us is anywhere you see x, so anywhere you see x will be -1. Then anywhere you see y is going to be 2. So let me take all the y. So this is y, this is y. Then the x, guys, this would be x, x, x. Okay. So this would be 2 brackets -1 plus -1 squared minus, okay, that's, 2 cubed divided by x is minus 1, and then plus 2. So 2 times minus 1 is minus 2, plus minus 1 squared is 1, minus 2 cubed is 8, divided by minus 1, plus 2. Well, minus 2 plus 2 is 0, basically. 1 minus 8 is minus 7, divided by minus 1. So this will give us 7. And there's no 7 in the option. Okay, so there's a misprint somewhere. Like I said, I got these questions from Uniport. This section was gotten from Uniport. So it's basically, I don't know why there was something wrong with that very one. Okay, next one. Hold on, okay. So for the next one, a polynomial in x whose zeros are 2, 1, and minus 3 is dash. So first of all, what I always do is I like using the method of expansion here. What they're trying to tell us is x is equal to 2, or x is equal to 1, or x is equal to minus 3. Now we could move all of these to the other side so that we get 0 on the right hand side. So this is x minus 2 equal to 0. If I take 2 to this side, I'm going to get a minus 2. Or x, this is a 1. If I take it to the other side, it's going to be minus 1 equal to 0. Or x plus 3 equal to 0. Now think of this. If everything is equal to 0, what it tells us is, even if we multiply them, it's still going to be 0. It's still going to be 0. So x minus 2 into x minus 1 into x plus 3, that would still give us 0. So let's multiply. Now we have to do this 2 at a time, either the first 2 or the last 2. Let me choose the last 2. So this is x minus 2. Then I'm going to multiply this guy. Okay, so I'm going to have x times x, that's x squared. Then s times 3, that's 3x. Then minus 1 times x minus 1x, minus 1 times 3 minus 3. And that will be equal to 0. Okay, so this is x take away 2 into x squared. 3x minus 1x is plus 2x, and then take away 3 equal to 0. At the last part for the expansion. So I think I'm going to just write it here. Yep. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it across to your classmates. Oh, sorry, I said classmates. You're going to get admission soon. Okay, so x times x squared is x cubed. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times minus 3 is minus 3x. So this is what we have. The next, minus 2 times x squared minus 2x squared. Minus 2 times 2x minus 4x. And then minus 2 times minus 3 is plus 6. That will be equal to 0. Now if you notice, 2x squared minus 2x squared is gone. It's going to give us 0. So the answer becomes x cubed minus 3x minus 4x is minus 7x. And then plus 6 equal to 0. So the answer becomes A. So that's our answer. Let's move to the next one. So the next one says, find the range of values of x for which 7x minus 3 is greater than 3x plus 4. So 7x minus 3 greater than 3x plus 4. So let's move like terms. So I'm going to move 3x to this side. That's 7x minus 3x. Greater than 4, I'm going to move the 3 to the other side. That's a plus 3. Then 7x minus 3x is 4x. Greater than 4 plus 3, that's 7. So x has to be greater than 7 over 4, because you have to divide both sides by 4. So the answer becomes B. So that's the answer. Okay, next one. Question 11 says, calculate the standard deviation of the following data. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to find the mean. And for this very question, I can tell you for a fact that the mean is very easy. The mean is equal to 10. Why is it equal to 10? Now, in statistics, when the number is, let me say, evenly distributed, if you notice, each next number is 1 away. So it's kind of like evenly distributed: 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now 10 is the middle number. So 10 is the mean. 10 is also the median. So in this case, 10 is the mean. So you've just learned something. If you have numbers that are evenly distributed, to get the mean, go look for every single thing, like the thing in the middle. That will give you the mean. Okay, so this is all we have. X is equal to what? 10. Good. Now, next thing is standard deviation talks about deviations. So how far are each of these numbers from the mean? So this is 7, right? So our deviations will become, for the first one, 10 minus 7. That will give us 3. So that's 3. Then next one, 8 is 2, 9 is 1, 10 is 0, then 11 is 1, 2, 3. Now take notes, I could have put the minus. Let me put the minus, but it doesn't change anything though. So this is the deviation. But standard deviation takes the square of the deviations. Let me give you the formula for standard deviation. It's the square of x minus x bar, the summation of x minus x bar squared divided by the number you have. That's the formula for standard deviation. So after our subtraction, so what we've done right now is we've done our subtraction. So now let's square these values. So I'm going to put square, 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 square. That's what I'm going to do. So I've taken my deviation squared. Now next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sum them up. That's what this sign is here, this yellow guy. So it says I'm going to sum them up. So I'm going to do this, plus, and then plus. Okay, so let me just do this one first. This will be 9 plus 4 plus 1, plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 plus 9. So what we're basically doing here is we're taking the squares, and if you square any number, you must get a positive result. So let's add everything here. When you add up every single thing, you get 28. That's what you're going to get. So this is the summation of the deviation squared. Now, standard deviation is the square root. Yeah, I didn't put that before. Standard deviation is the square root of the sum of your deviation squared over n. So this will be the square root of 28 divided by 7. So that's the square root of 4, which is 2. So A is the answer to that very equation. So this is what we have. Okay. Next one, question 9. A bricklayer measured the length of a wall and obtained 4.10 meters. If the actual length of the wall is 4.25, find his percentage error. So our first thing is, what is the error? How much error did he make? So error is, he was supposed to get 4.25, but instead got 4.10. So let's see what the error would be. So the error would just become 0.15. So that's what the error is. Now percentage error is, since he made an error of 0.15, we're going to do 0.15 divided by the actual thing he's supposed to get, 4.25, times 100%. So take note, percentage error is always the error you made divided by the actual value that you were supposed to have, times 100%. Now, there's a calculator on the screen. Yes, there should be one. So you're going to use the calculator to find the value of this. You're going to use the calculator to get the value. Now you should get 3 point something. Now, provided you're getting a 3 point something, A is the most close. So this value would actually give you 3 whole lots, 9/17%. So this is what we're actually having. But just to make sure, you can do your conversion when you get that decimal value to make sure that it's actually 9/17. So try to be very careful. Question 13. Question number 13. Factorize the expression 2y squared plus xy minus 3x squared. Okay, so for this one, it's kind of like quadratic factorization. So we have 2y squared. So we have 2y squared plus xy minus 3x squared. So what we have to do is we're going to split this guy in the middle. We're going to divide it. We're going to scatter it. So 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. So I'm looking for numbers that with times to give me minus 6. Add the same numbers, I get a plus 1 because that plus 1 is what's here. So the numbers are going to become 3 and minus 2 because 3 times minus 2 is minus 6 and 3 minus 2 is plus 1. So this is 2y squared minus, okay, now let me go with the 3 first, plus 3xy minus xy, and then, minus 2, because the second number is 2, and then minus 3x squared. Now take note, there might be more versions for this. This is the first time I'm solving 100 problems. There is going to be maybe another video because there are lots of universities. So I'm going to do other videos too. Make sure you watch these videos. But the University of Port Harcourt have their exams closed already. So this might be the only video they might watch. But it's very important. Take it seriously. Okay, so let's continue. So between these first two guys, so we're going to group them into 2. So I'm going to group these 2 together. So if you look at those 2, what do you think is common? Only y is common. So let's bring out y. Then we divide. 2y squared divided by y is 2y plus 3xy divided by y is 3x. So this is what we have. I'm going to put in a minus here because that's the sign I have here. Now for this yellow guy, because we're grouping here, we're grouping into 2s. So the last 2 guys, what is common? What can you see common there? What's common is x. So this is x bracket. Now let's divide. Minus cancels out minus. 2xy divided by x is 2y. Now minus and minus is plus. 3x squared divided by x would give us 3x. Now you can see that the brackets are the same. It should be the same. So you can see that these brackets and these brackets are the same. So it must be the same. So this is 2y plus 3x. And then what is outside is y minus x. It's not your money. I don't know why that fowl is crowing. So this is what we have. So the answer is going to become D. So that's our answer. So question 14. What must be added to the expression s squared minus 18x in order to make it a perfect square? Now the shortest answer to this is, since there is no number here, there's no number with the x squared, there's no number with the x squared, what we have to do is we have a minus 18. It doesn't really matter, but so this is a minus 18. We're going to take the half of that, minus 18 over 2. So that will give us minus 9. We're going to square it. So minus 9 squared, that will give us plus 81. So the answer is what? D. But what if there's a number there? Take note that to make up a perfect square, b squared must equal to 4ac. So most persons make use of this formula to get the answer. B squared equal 4ac. So what we have is x squared minus 18x. Now they say what must be added. So let's just say that it was k that was added. So our b in this case is minus 18. So we have minus 18 squared equal 4 times, what is A? A is 1. Remember, A is the number in front of x squared, B is the number in front of x, then C is the number that's alone. It doesn't have an x attached to it. So this is 1 times k. I think this should be 324. Can't really recall, but it should be 324. Equal to 4k. So to get our k, we divide by 4. So 324 over 4 is equal to k, so 81 equal to k. So you could see, this is another way to get the answer. So it's still 81, so 81 has to be added. All right, next question. The angle of a sector of a circle of radius, so many offs here, 8 cm is 240 degrees. This sector is bent to form a cone. Find the radius of the base of the cone. So there's this video I made. I was teaching about circles, its mensuration in circles. Though I didn't talk about a sector forming a cone, but it's very important to go watch that video because most problems would come from shapes. Yeah, they would either be asking about sector, about different shapes. That's one, it's like a gold mine where they go pick up questions from. But let's think about this. For this case, I'm going to be explaining. So a sector looks like this. So this is what a sector looks like. So that's a sector. Now, a cone looks like this. It's curved in a way. So that's what a cone looks like those Christmas cap you used to wear when you were much more younger. So that's what a cone looks like. So they kind of bent this very cone. They kind of bent the sector. One thing you need to know is this. You see this part? Okay, let me connect that with a black line. You see this part that is black? This part that is black is the length of this very circumference. Because when you bend something, this, let me say this is the start and this is the end. These two will then meet, like they will connect. The start and the end will connect to each other. So when they do so, this tells us that the length of the arc gives us the circumference of the base. Gives us the circumference of the base. That's what that tells us. So what we're going to be doing is, I'm going to say, so we're going to be saying that the length of an arc is going to equal the circumference of the circle. Circumference of circle or circular base of the cone. So length of an arc is theta over 360 degrees times 2 pi r equal to circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. Notice that I didn't use the same r for both of them. So I called one small r, called one big r. Now you can also decide to solve for the first one. So you can decide to solve for length of the arc first, gingerly. Just solve for it like carefully first. It's your choice. Okay, so one thing I would like to do here is 2 we cancel out 2, pi we cancel out pi. That's the first thing I want to do. Now the angle in the equation is 240. So this will be 240 over 360. Then r is remaining here. So r is 8. So this will equal to the radius that we need. Now 240, this will give us 2. And then 360 will give us 3. I kind of know this because 240 is 120 times 2. 360 is 120 times 3. So when they cancel out, we're going to have 2 over 3. Now 2 with times 8 at the top to give us 16 over 3 at the bottom. So the answer is going to be C. 16 over 3. Okay, next one. The curved surface area of a cylindrical tin is 704 centimeters squared. Calculate the height when the radius is 8 centimeters. So for a start, let me just derive this a little. Curved surface, let me just give the formula. So curved surface area is 2 pi RH. Yeah, let me not stress myself about that. So the curved surface area has been given to us as 704 equal 2 times, we have 22 over 7 times the radius is 8, and then the height is not known. Okay, so this is 704 equal 2 times 22 is 44. 44 times 8 should be 352. We'll put our h over 7 because the h over 7 is still the same. Now, we could kind of put an over 1 here, then we cross multiply. So 1 times 352h should be 352h equal 704 times 7. Right. So for us to get our h, we divide both sides by 352. So h will become 704 times 7 divided by 352. It's not all the time that you need to pick up a calculator and always do what's it called to calculate this. Just leave it the way it is. Divide and do everything once. So when you do this, you should get 14 centimeters. So the answer is going to become C. That's what our answer is going to become. All right, question 17. I really hope this is not lagging a lot. So a bag contains 10 balls, of which 3 are red, 7 are white. 2 balls are drawn at random. Find the probability that none of the balls is red if the draw is with replacement. So first of all, if the balls are not red, so you need none of them to be red. None is red. It means they have to be white, obviously. So probability of white, because 2 balls are drawn. So probability white. Since they don't have to be red, they have to be white. So there are 7 white balls out of 10, because there are 10 balls in total and 7 are white. So this means we'll have 7 out of 10. The first time you pick it up is going to be 7 out of 10. Then times the second ball is also going to be 7 out of 10, because the first one you picked, you replaced it. So you put it back. So that will be 7 over 10 times 7 over 10. So 7 times 7 is 49 over 100. So that's 0.49. So the answer for that one is going to be D. Now, the same question is here, but this time around it says without replacement. Okay, so probability of white. So the first time we have 7. So this will be 7 over 10 times. Now, this time around, they are not replacing. So after picking the first white ball, how many white balls would we have remaining? 6 would be remaining. Then what will be the total number of balls? 9. Because we've already removed 1 before. We did not replace it. That's why it says without replacement. So this will then become, we now have 6 white balls out of a total of 9 balls. Yep, so this is what we're going to be getting. Okay, now this is 2, this is 3. Okay, so this will be 14 over 30. Now this will be 0.46667, so that's 0.47 approximately. So that's B. So this is what we have. Now next, let's move on to the next question. Question 19 says, a regular polygon has each of its interior angle as 160 degrees. What is the number of sides of the polygon? So for a question like this, what I have to do is, I like looking for the exterior angle first. So the angle that is inside, which is the interior, and the one that is outside, they both add up to 180. So this means to get the exterior angle, all we have to do is to say 180 minus the interior angle, which is 160. So when you subtract this, you're going to have 20 degrees. So that is the exterior angle. Now, the number of sides of a polygon is 360 degrees divided by the exterior angle, provided it's regular, please. So it's a regular, meaning all of the angles are equal. So this will be 360 degrees divided by 20. Now when you divide this, you should get 18. So that will be the number of sides. It has 18 sides. It has 18 sides. Okay. Question 20. A girl walks 30 meters from point P, on a bearing of 40 degrees to a point Q. Okay, let me kind of make a diagram about this. So let me put P somewhere here. So P, yep. Oh no, that's too small. Okay, so this is what we have. I think that's even very long. Can you behave? Okay, so the angle here is 40 degrees because it says 40, so this is 30 meters. All right, so a point Q, so I'm going to put Q somewhere here. So this is our Q. Okay, she then walks 30 meters again on a bearing of 140 degrees to a point R. So 140 is going to be somewhere here. So that's where 140 would be. I want it to automatically become a straight line. Okay. So, yep. Behave. Okay. So these are points R, and this is still 30 meters. It says the bearing of R from P is what? Okay. So that means there's going to be a straight line connecting these two things together. Now here's my problem. As you can see, my diagram looks very, very inconsistent. Looks very, very inconsistent. But let's see. So this is 30, this is 30. Ideally, since they're of the same length, it means they should land on the same position. But it's not that way most of the times. It's not that way. So I need to be very careful of what I'm doing. So let me join it like this. Don't worry. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay. So if this is 140, let's work this out. If this is 140, remember that the first part here is 90. So that means this part here is definitely 50. Let me show you where it's 50. So this angle right here is 50. Yep. Then this angle internally, this is 40. Now the angle here is also 40. Yep. So every single thing here is 80. So this angle here is 80 degrees. Yep. Hold on. The angle here is 80 degrees. So this is what we have. Well, what I would do next is, let's see. So these two are the same. These two sides are the same. So it means the angle here and the angle here are also the same. So this is 80. So this has to be 50. And this is also 50. Because how did I get 50? The sum of angle in a triangle is 180. So when you take away 50, when you take away 80, because the first side is 80, the first value we had was 80. That was this very angle here. So the first angle we had was 80. So when you take this away, you should get 100. Now next thing is, we are actually going to be dividing this by 2 because these other two angles are equal since it's an isosceles triangle. So that's what we're going to be getting. Next, 50-50. It says the bearing of R from P. So this is our PI. If you count, you're going to count from the north till you meet the line that goes to R. So that covers 40 degrees and 50 degrees. So when you sum this up, you should get 90. So that's the answer to that very equation. Okay. Next one. How many different 3-digit number can be formed using the integers 1 to 6 if no integer occurs twice in a number? Okay, so first we need 3 digits. So let me make a box for that. Okay. Now the first box, since we need a 3 digits now, the first box can be filled with 6 different numbers. Yep, 6 different numbers. Now the second box, or the second digit, is going to be filled with just 5, because remember, we cannot repeat any number. So if we've put a number here, we can't repeat it here. So instead of our 6 digits, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I've picked one of these 6 has filled up this very box. So let me say it was 3 that filled the box. Now how many is left here? We have 5 numbers remaining. So any of those 5 could be the second digits. So let me say that one was 5 itself. And the last digits could have 4 possible answers. So we're going to times all of this to give us 120. So the answer is B. Okay, the next question. Question 22 says, find the 9th term of the arithmetic progression. Now what do you notice here? In this very progression, it's reducing by 6. So our common difference is minus 6 because it's reducing. That's our common difference, it's reducing. Then what's our first term? First term is 18. That's the first number. Now what is the 9th term? Remember that the nth term of a sequence that is arithmetic is a plus n minus 1 times d. So this is 18 plus n in this case is 9. So 9 minus 1 times d, which is minus 6. So this is 18 plus 9 minus 1 is 8. So we're going to have 8 times minus 6. And this is 18 minus 48. And this would then give us minus 30. So that's the 9th term. Okay, next question. Question 23. It says we should solve this equation. Now there are different ways to solve this. Let me just take the LCM. So the LCM of this and this is going to be 5a. So 5a divided by a is 5. And 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 5a divided by 5a is 1. And then times 1 at the top is 1. Equal to 3. So 20 plus 1 is 21. Divided by 5a equal to 3. Next, I can put another 1 here and then cross multiply. So 5a times 3 will give 15a. 21 times 1 is 1. So to get a, we divide both sides by 15. So 21 over 15. Now you would agree that 3 is common here. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now this is 7 over 5. How many times would you see 5 in 7? It's once. Then there's a remainder of 2. So the answer is B. So that's our answer for that very equation. Next one, question 24. What is the number whose logarithm to base 10 is 3.47712? Now for a start, the option here is wrong. The option is wrong because if you need a number whose logarithm will give you 3 point something, that number has to be up to 1000 because log 10 of 1000 will give us exactly 3. So if you're getting 3.47, this number should be around log 10 of 3000 and something. So all of these options are wrong for this very equation. Now you don't actually need a calculator for this. It's just, should I say, it's just to understand how logarithm works. We know that logarithm is how many times can we multiply the base to give us the number. So if they are saying that the base is 10 and the answer we're getting is 3, already 10 to the power of 3 is 1000. Let's leave this decimal part first. 10 to the power of 3 is 1000, but none of the numbers here are up to 1000. So the answer to this is not, it's not here at all. It's not here. Okay, so let's move on. Question 25. The nth term of a sequence is given by -1 bracket n minus 2. Then times, the dot here means times, 2 to the power of n minus 1. Find the sum of the second and the third term. So the first thing you might want to do is to find the second term. So the second term is, I'm going to put 2 here. So this is -1 bracket 2 minus 2 times 2 bracket 2 minus 1. That's -1 to the power of 0 times 2 to the power of 1. So -1 to the power of 0, that's 1. 2 to the power of 1 is 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. So this is the second term. Now the third term, so we have -1 to the power of n minus 2 times 2 to the power of n minus 1. So we're looking for the third term now. This -1, 3 minus 2 times 2 to the power of 3 minus 1. So this -1, 3 minus 2 is 1, times 2, 3 minus 1 is 2. -1 to the power of 1 is -1. Times 2 to the power of 3, that's 4. -1 times 4 is -4. So it says, what is the sum of this? 2 plus -4 is -2. Or you could say 2 minus 4 is -2. So that's what we have. Okay. Question 26. Evaluate log 10 or log 25 base 10 plus log 32 base 10 minus log 8 base 10. So if you notice, they all have the base of 10. So this would be log 25 times 32 over 8. Since they all have the base of 10, we could apply the laws of logarithm that says if you're adding up, you multiply the numbers. Then if you're subtracting, you divide the numbers. So in this case, we're going to be doing this. So this is log 25 times 32 divided by 8 will give us 100. Because 8 here is 1 and into this is 4. 25 times 4 is 100. Now remember that the base is 10. So how many times would you multiply 10 by its own self to give you 100? 2. So the answer is equal to 2. Next. So the next one says evaluate 21.05347 divided by 1.6324 times 0.43 to 3 decimal places. Okay, so we're asked to do this. All right. Now, basically, I think there's an error in the options. So we have to do this divided by this first, and then we're going to times that result by this. That's what we have to do. But none of the answers are right here. So there's a wrong misprint here. So the answer is about 12.9. That's what the answer would be, around that very number. Okay, next one, question 28. Same thing. Oh gosh, same thing. So if you should do this right away from the calculator, you should be getting around 0.2789. Now, if you look at the options, there's no 0.3. Assuming there was a 0.3, that could have been the closest. But no, and it says to 3 decimal places. So even to 3 decimal places, it's still not 0.3. So that's it. It's not in the options also. Okay, the next one. So we're asked to add all of this together. We're asked to do this together. So there's another way of adding up fractions. So 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. So I'm going to keep 5 here. I'm going to keep 5. Then next we have 1 over 12. Then there's a 3 over 4. Then there's a 1 over 2. Okay. Now the LCM here is 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Minus 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 1 minus 9 is minus 8. Minus 8 plus 6 is minus 2. So this will be minus 2 over 12. Now 2 here is 1. 2 into this is 6. You can come and say 5 minus 1 over 6. Okay, this is not supposed to be hard though. So here's what I will do. 5 is actually 4 plus 1, right? Yep. Then 4 plus 1 is actually 6 over 6 minus 1 over 6. So this will be 4. 6 minus 1 is 5. Oh my gosh. This approach might be a little bit confusing, but it's actually not. So what I did was, you could also decide to take LCM here, put on over 1 here. But what I just did was, I know that 5 is 4 plus 1. Then 1 is actually 6 over 6. So that I can easily do 6 over 6 minus 1 over 6 to give me 5 over 6. So the answer is C. That's the answer. Question 30. A cylindrical tank has a capacity of this. What is the depth of the tank if the diameter of its base is 14 centimeters? So first thing, I want to get the radius. I like working with radius. So radius is diameter over 2. So I have to divide the 14 by 2 to get diameter. The volume of a cylinder, because when you see capacity is same as volume. So volume is pi r squared h. That's it. So the volume is 3080 equal to pi, which is 22 over 7. The radius is 7, and then we're going to put 7 times 7. Then the height is not known. We don't know what the height would be. Okay. So 7 can cancel at 7 here. So this will be 3080 equal 22 times 7 is 154 h. Now to get our h, we divide both sides by 154. So when you do this division, you should be getting around 20 meters. So that's the value for the depth or the height. Question 31. Question 31. A sector of a circle of radius 7.2, which subtends an angle of 300 at the center, is used to form a cone. What is the radius of the base of the cone? Now, this question was repeated before. So remember I said the arc length, so the length of the arc is equal to area of circle. So this will be theta over 360 times 2 pi r equal 2 pi r. So 2 pi will take care of 2 pi. So the angle in question is 300. So this will be 300 over 360 times 7.2 equal to r. Now when you do this in your calculator, you should get 6 centimeters. So that's what the answer is going to become. 6. That's A. Now question 32 has been solved before, and the answer we had was pi r over 3, which is B. So I think one question has repeated itself now. Okay, next one. This is a lot. A point P moves such that it is equidistant from the points Q and R. Find QR when PR equal 8 centimeters and the angle of this is equal 30. Now, provided there's an angle, it means we're having a triangle. And then if P is equidistant from Q and R, it means P is the perpendicular bisector of the line QR. So let me draw. So hold on. So this is QR. That's QR. Form a straight line, will you? Okay. Now P is a perpendicular bisector, so it's gonna be. Hold on. Okay. So this is where P would be. But then these two lines have to be the same. Now, PRQ is 30. So if this is 30, this would also be 30. Angle in a triangle is 180. So minus 30 minus 30, this will give 120 for that very angle. Now we're told that PR is 8 centimeters. So this is 8 cm, this is 8 cm. And then we're asked to find QR, which is this other one. So that's X. Now, I can say that. Okay, I don't want to use cosine rule. Let me use cosine rule. So I'm going to say X, which is opposite to 120. Remember, let me put it this way. P squared is equal Q squared plus R squared minus 2PQ cos P. So this is it. That's cosine rule. So this will be X squared. Remember that P is the side opposite to, this is small letter P, this is small letter Q, this is small letter R. So small letter P is the side opposite to the capital letter P, small letter Q is the side opposite to this capital letter Q. So this will be our X squared equal 8 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 8 times 8 cosine of 120 degrees. So this is X squared equal 64 plus 64 minus 16 times 64. That should be 128. Then cosine of 120. You might not have a calculator, but there's a way to do this. First of all, this will be a minus cosine of 180 minus 120. Now, why is it this way? Why is it this way? You might be asking. So basically, first thing I want to do is, let me teach you this. So in the unit circle, let me draw a unit circle. So in this unit circle, this is ASTC. This is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. Now, in the first quadrant, all trig ratios are positive. This is 0 degrees to 90 degrees, 180 degrees to 70 degrees, and then 360 degrees. So that is what we have. This is what we have. These are the angles that we have. Now, every angle that is in the first quadrant, which is between 0 to 90, they are all acute angles and they are all positive. Then this S here for the second quadrant tells us that only sine is positive. Now, if you look at the angle we have, 120 degrees. 120 degrees is between 90 to 180. It's between 90 to what? 180. That's what we have. Now, this tells us that cosine is minus. That's why we have a minus here. Because only sine is positive in that very quadrant. But here we have cosine of 120. So that's why I put in a minus. Now, there's a way to reduce. If you want to reduce the angle, you have to say 180 minus that very value you have. So that's 180 minus theta. So that's what we have. So next, let's continue. So this will be 128 when you add that up. Minus 128, or this will now be plus 128 because minus times minus is plus. And then cosine of 60 degrees. All right, so this becomes 128 plus 128. Cosine of 60 is a half. So this is 128 plus half of 128 is 64. We're going to add this up. So 128 plus 64, that gives 192. I think this method is longer. So to get x, we're going to take the square root of 192. So x is the square root, because this has been x squared all through. So to get x, we have to take the square root of 192. So this is basically 64 times 3. The square root of 64 is 8, so that's 8 root 3. Well, you can actually use sine rule for this equation. Yeah, just use sine rule. It's still going to give the same answer. So the answer is going to be D. It's still going to be the same result at the end of the day. Okay, sadly, I have to wipe this out now. Okay, so I have to wipe it out because I need some space. Okay, so let me wipe this out. Okay, so question 34, we're asked to evaluate this very fraction. So what you would want to do is to first do the numerator, do the denominator separately. So over here, I have to do this first. So I have to do this first. So this becomes 3 out of 8 times 2 over 1. So 2 here is 1. 2 into 8 is 4. So this will be 3 over 4. And then minus 1 over 3. So the LCM here is 12. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. So this will be 5 over 12. That's for the numerator. For the denominator, this is 1 over 8 times 2 over 3. So 2 here is 1. 2 into 8 is 4. So 1 times 1 is 1. Then at the bottom, 4 times 3 is 12. And then plus 1 over 3. So the LCM is 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Plus 12 divided by 3, that's 4. And then 4 times 1 is 4. So this becomes 5 over 12. Now the fraction, we're going to do numerator divided by denominator. Numerator, we had 5 over 12. Denominator, 5 over 12. When they cancel out, you get 1. So the answer is going to be D, because these two will divide to give you 1. Okay. Next question. Remember to hit the subscribe button and like this video. So the scores of students in 5 courses are given as follows. So if the mean score is 78, find the value of X. One thing you need to know is the sum of all the scores, is the mean times how many numbers you have. So this formula stays. So our sum, the mean we have is 78. How many numbers do we have here? We have 5 numbers. So 78 times 5 will give us 390. So that was what the sum of the scores would be. So let's add everything here up. So 70 plus 75 is 145. So this is 145. 80 plus 90 is 170. So if you add these numbers up, you will get 315. Yeah, 315. This will be 315 plus x. So if you add up this number, you get 315 plus x. So x becomes 390 minus 315. So this will then give us 75. So the answer is A. So that's our answer. All right, next. Question 36. The marks obtained by students in a mathematics test are given below. So these are the marks. If A is the mean and B is the median, calculate A plus B. I want to arrange this first. So I can see that there's a 1 twice. So that's 1, 1. I can see there's 2 twice. So 2 twice. I can see there's 3 twice. 3 twice. I can see there's a single 4. There's a single 5. There's a single 8. There's a single 9. Then 10, 11, 12, and 14. So there are 14 terms, there are 14 numbers here. So let's add up everything. Let's add everything. So pick up your calculator and add everything here. To get the mean, mean is always the sum of the numbers over how many numbers you have. That's the value of mean. So if you add everything here, all the numbers here, you should get 85. You should get 85 over how many numbers do we have here? We have 14 numbers. So when you divide this together, you should get 6.071. So that's for the mean. Now the median, since there are 14 numbers, if we divide it by 2, we're going to get 7. But if we count to the 7th term, there will be no number in the middle. So let's count only 6 terms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the back. So you see there's 4 and 5 in the middle. If I had counted 7, there will be no number in the middle. But to make sure I still have numbers in the middle, I have to count only 6. So the median is going to be 4 plus 5 over 2. When there are 2 numbers in the middle, you add them up and divide by 2. So 4 plus 5, that's 9 over 2. And this is 4.5. Now we're going to add this together because this is our A, this is our B, this is B. So when we add this up, we're going to be getting 10.57. Yep, you're going to get 10.571 when you add it up. So the answer becomes C. So that's our answer. Okay, the next one says question 37. In a box, there are 10 shirts, 15 long sleeve shirts, and 25 gowns. If one attire is picked at random, what is the probability that the attire is either t-shirt or gown? Okay, so first things first, let's add up the dresses or the shirts. Let's see. So 10 plus 15 is 35. 10 plus 15 is 25. 25 plus 25 is 30. 50. What is wrong with me? So total is 50. So we're going to pick a shirt and we want it to either be a t-shirt or a gown. So we're going to add up t-shirts and we're going to add up gown. So when we add this up, we're going to get 35. The probability either of these two, either t-shirt or gown, will become 35 out of 50. So when we divide this by 5, we're going to have 7 out of 10. So the answer becomes D. Okay, next question. Dicky travels to work in 40 minutes. Drives to work in 40 minutes. She takes the same route to return home. If her average speed on her way home is half as her average speed on the trip to work, how much time does she spend driving the round trip? So they're asking what is the total time. So here's the thing. So the time it took me to drive to work, let me use me for example, is 40 minutes to work. Now when returning back home, I am then driving half of my speed. I am driving half. Now what happens? If you don't drive faster, what happens? You get home slower, right? You do agree that speed and time are inversely proportional. So if you are reducing one is increasing. Take note, speed is inversely proportional to time. So if you are taking half of this, meaning you are reducing, it means this is actually increasing. So if you take half of this, half of speed, you're basically doubling the time. You're basically doubling the time. That's how it works. Because since you are driving slowly, you are driving at half speed, meaning you will get home twice as late. You would spend more time on the way. So the time to get home will become 80 minutes. To become 80. So the sum of the time here is 120 minutes. And to convert this to hours, we divide by 60, sorry. So this will then give us 2 hours. So that is the answer to the question, 2 hours. Okay, next one. The first and last terms of an AP are 10 and 90. They should have put respectively. If the sum of the terms is 750, find the common difference. To start with, we need to know how many terms we're even in this sequence to start with. So the sum of terms is n over 2 brackets a plus l. So this formula holds. So with this formula, we can find the number of terms. So the sum of terms is 750. So that's equal to n over 2 brackets 10 plus 90. So this is 750 equal n over 2 bracket 100. Now this is 750 equal 100 over 2 is 50. So this will be 50n because we can cancel out here. These two can cancel out. So then give us 50. So that's 50n. To get n, we divide both sides by 50. So this would then give us 15 equal to n. So that's the number of 10. But then, we know that the last term is 90. The last term is 90. If our last term is 90, that means we have a plus n minus 1 bracket d. Remember, the last term is also a term. And since the number of term is 15, meaning the 15th term is the last term. So they're basically saying the 15th term, which is the last term, because the number of terms is actually 15. So the last number is 15. So 90, which is the last value of the last term, is equal, the first term is 10, plus n is 15. That's the number of 10, or that would be the last term. Then times d, which we're looking for. So next, I'm going to say 90 take away 10 is equal, 15 minus 1 is 14, so 14d. So I took this 10 to this other side. 90 minus 10 will give 80, equal 14d. So to get d, we divide both sides by 14. Alright, so d would then become 80 divided by 14 is 5.7. It's 5.7. Alright, so the answer becomes D. So that's the answer for that very question. Question 40. A total of m matches are needed to fill 40 match boxes with the same number of matches in each box. How many matches are in each box? So, we have m matches. It's just like saying we want to share 1 million with 40 people. If you are sharing 1 million with 40 people, one person is going to get 1 million divided by 40. Like that amount divided by 40. So if you want to share 1 million with 40 people, one person would, for you to get what one person would get, you want to share it equally. You have to divide 1 million amongst 40 people. So that's m over 40. That's C. Next one. A girl is 6 years younger than her brother. The product of their ages is 135. Find their ages. There are some questions you basically do not have to solve. So first, 6 years younger, meaning their age difference is 6. The age difference is 6. So if you subtract the ages, you should get a difference of 6. So I'm going to look at my options. I notice that these two are possible answers because 15 minus 9 will give me 6. 9 minus 3 will give me 6. Option A and C, that's rubbish. None of them gives us a difference of 6. Now, we're going to check which one will give us 135 when we multiply. For B, I know that 9 times 3 is not 30, and 135 is 27. So instead, 15 times 9 is 135. So the answer is D, 15 and 9. Not everything that you have to solve. Okay, now for question 42. I've seen an equation as similar as this previously. But then, this very problem, this very one right here, it's not done correctly. But let me show you how to answer something like this. So we have it that A is to B, which is A over B, by the way. So we have it that A over B is equal to 6 over 5. Now, of course, there are times where people could say let A be equal to 6 and let B be equal to 5. But let's be a little bit, should I say, pragmatic in this case. Let's just be a little bit pragmatic. Remember that in ratios, we can simplify when the two terms have something in common. Yep. Okay, don't worry, let me never do this. It's just going to overcomplicate my issue. So A is equal to 6, B is equal to 5. So A is equal to 6, B is equal to 5. So this will be 4 times 6 plus 6 times 5 divided by 3 times 6 plus, that's a minus 5 divided by 4 times 6. So anywhere I see A, I'll put 6. Anywhere I see B, I'll put 5. So divided by, what's it called? B is 5. Okay. So this will be 24 plus 30 divided by 18 plus 5. Hold on. That's a minus. That's a minus 5. Okay, divided by 24 over 25. 24 plus 30 is 54, divided by 13, then divided by 24 over 25. Now we could change the division to times. So this is 54 over 13 times 25 over 24. All right, well, even if we choose to simplify this, okay. If you take this into your calculator, you get 4.327, which is not in the options. That's what the answer should be, but it's not in the options. Okay, so let's move on. Question 43. A carton of hard drinks containing 20 bottles of, I think that should have been Gouda, 15 bottles of Star, and 5 bottles of Hero. What is the probability of not choosing any of the bottles from the information given? You see, if you look at this question very well, the answer should be 0. Because you are basically saying that you want to pick a bottle that is not among what you've given to us. So it's 0 because that bottle does not exist. The number of that very bottle is 0. That's saying you're not picking Gouda, you're not picking Star, you're not picking Hero. Then what exactly are you picking? It's not in the box, so that's 0. That's 0. Like I said, this is likely nonsense. The question is inconsistent. So I believe most of you must have seen it. The Uniport student, you must have seen this very question. So it's very, very inconsistent. And the answer of this is 0. Question 44. A student traveled for X hours at 5 km per hour and for Y hours at 10 km per hour. The journey was 35 km altogether. Find X and Y if the average speed for the journey was 7 km per hour. So first things first. This is time. This is time. And this is speed. So we need to know that distance is speed times time. Okay, so the distance covered the first time. Distance covered the first time is going to be 5x because the speed is 5 and it took him x amount of time. Then the distance the second time, that will be 10y because the second speed was 10, then time was y, so that's 10y. Now it says that together the journey was 35 kilometers. So this means when you add this up, 5x plus 10y, we are going to be getting what? We're going to be getting 35. So I could divide everything here by 5 because 5 is common. So x plus 2y is equal to 7. So that's equation 1. That is equation 1. Okay. Now, the next thing is this. The average speed for the whole journey is 7 kilometers per hour. That's the average speed. Now, for us to get average speed, we need to agree that, again, speed is distance over time. That's what it is, distance over time. And now, they travel 35 kilometers, so that's 35 kilometers, divided by the time spent is x plus y, because they first of all moved for x, then moved later for y, so that's x plus y. So if this is 7, so the speed was 7, so this is equal to 7, we can agree that 35 over 7 is equal to x plus y. So you could take the 35 here. Let me just do this separately on this side. Okay, so speed is distance over time. So we have 7 kilometers per hour. The distance is 35 kilometers and the sum of the time is x plus y. So you could say 7 brackets x plus y when you cross multiply is equal to 35. Yeah, you could say it's equal to 35. So to get x plus y, you divide by 7. So that's 35 over 7. And that will give us 5. Okay. Now remember, we had an equation before, which was x plus 2y equal to 7. So now we have x plus y equal to 5. These are the two equations. Now this will cancel out. These two would cancel out. So we're basically going to be subtracting both equations. So that's 2y minus y equals 7 minus 5. 2y minus y will give us our y equal to 2. So we now know that y is 2. Now what would x be? X would definitely be 5 because we know that the sum of x and y is equal to 5. So if we should put 2 here, we should put 2 here, and then take the 2 to the other side. This will be x equal 5 take away 2, which is 3. That's what we have. So x is 3, y is 2. So the answer for that is equal to B. That's the answer for that very equation. Okay, next one, question 45. In a poll, it was noticed that 22 people read biology textbook and 37 people read physics textbook. If 45 people read either physics or biology, find the probability of the people who read both textbooks. So first things first, you need to go by this very formula. In set, this also applies. The number of those that are reading both physics, is it physics and biology? Yeah. Physics and biology is equal to the number of those that read physics plus the number of those that read biology minus the number of those that read both of them. So this means that 45 is equal, physics is 37, biology is 22. So we need the number of those that read physics and biology. So this will be 45 equal 37 plus 22. That should give 59 minus number of those that read physics and biology. So I'm going to take this 57 to the other side. That's 45 take away 59 equal to minus number of those that read physics and biology. Okay. Now 45 take away this will give us minus 14 equal to minus the number of those that read physics and biology. So minus will cancel out minus. This means the number of those that read biology are 14. So the probability this time around will then become, how many read that? 14. Then what is the total number? 45. Because the pool contained 45 people. So the answer is A. That's the answer to that very question. Question 46. The lengths of the parallel sides of a trapezium are 9 cm and 12 cm. If the area of the trapezium is 105, find the perpendicular distance between the parallel sides. To start with, in a trapezium, the formula is half a plus b times height. That's the formula for area of a trapezium. Okay, so this means 105 is equal half of 9 plus 12 times the height. Now, I could, since this is 1 over 2, I could decide to times both sides by 2. Or you could even say cross multiply. So what this tells me is I'm going to be having 105 times 2 equal 9 plus 12 is 21. So that's 21h. Then to get h, I'm going to divide by 21. And then when I do that, this should give me 10. So the answer to this becomes 10 centimeters. So that's going to be the answer, and the answer is C. Okay. Let's move on. Question 47. 7 students are to have a jolly good time together. If they are to be seated, find the number of ways to be choosing. Okay, so that's just 7 factorial. So they're just going to have a good time together. So 7 factorial is 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And that's 5040. That's the answer for that one. A rope of length 11 centimeter is folded to form a sector of a circle of radius 3.5 meters on the school playing field. What is the size of the angle of the sector correct to the nearest degree? Okay. So, for this, I think this should be cm. Yep, 3.5 cm. Otherwise, the shape will be very, very weird. So to start with, basically, the rope has a length of 11, and then it's used to form something. When you use something to form something, because that thing makes up the outline, it means the perimeter is that very thing. So look at this. This is sector. Now, you want the rope. You want a rope to go around this thing. You want the rope to go around this thing. So what the rope has done, remember that in this very sector, this is 3.5, this is 3.5. So already we have 7 because 3.5 plus 3.5 is 7. The rope is 11. So what will be left? 11 take away 7 is 4. So this means that this side will be 4 centimeters. Now this very side is what? This very side is the length of the arc. So length of the arc is theta over 360 degrees times 2 pi r. So the length of the arc is 4, equal, the angle is what we're looking for, times 2 times 22 over 7 times 3.5. All right, well, 2 and 3.5 will form 7, so they would all cancel out. So what's remaining will become 4 is equal theta over 360 with the 22. So I'm going to put the 22 right here. Now when I cross multiply, I'm going to get 4 times 360 equal to 22 theta. So to get theta, I have to divide by 22. So 4 times 360 divided by 22 is equal to theta. 4 times 360 divided by 22. So that gives 65.45. So the only time you can get this value of A is if you divide this further by 2. But clearly, none of this is in the option. So the correct answer is actually 65.45. It's only when you divide by 2 that you then get A as the closest. That's weird. I don't know why they set questions without properly thinking of what the answer should be. So it will be included in the options. All right, question 49. 48,000 naira is exchanged for $600. What is the equivalent of $1 to the naira in the exchange? So 48,000 gives us $600. So to get the value of $1, we need to then divide this by 600 because 600 divided by 600 will give us 1 on the dollar part. Now if you divide this, you're going to find out that we're going to be having 80 equal to $1. So the answer is C. Next, find the length of an arc of a circle having a radius of 66 centimeters and subtends an angle of 60 degrees at the center. Length of an arc is theta over 360 degrees times 2 pi r. So that will be 60 degrees divided by 360 degrees times 2 times 22 over 7 times 66. That's very big. Okay. So 60 is into 1, then into this will give us 6. 6 here is 1, and into this it's 11. So all we have to do is to then say 2 times 22 times 11. That should give us around, no, I'm just going to do divided by 7, so I get the answer. So that's 69.08. So that's D. D is the closest to that. Okay. Now question 51. So we've just gotten to the half of it. If you've made it this far, you are strong. If you've made it this far, you are strong. Okay. Remember, you can always pause the video, go get a glass of water, drink something or get a bottle of juice, drink and return to the video. So x varies directly as the square of y and inversely as p. So here's how it's going to be written. X directly as y squared, then inversely as p. That's how it's going to be written. Good. Now, of course, x will then be equal to ky squared over p, where k is the constant of proportionality. So X is 8, so this will be k times y is 5, so that's 5 squared, and then p is 10. So we're told that when y is 5, x is 8, p is 10. So this is what we're going to use to find our constant of proportionality. So this is 8 equal k times 25 over 10. All right. So this is 8 equal 25 over 10 is 2.5. So this will just become 2.5k. Because 25 over 10 will give us 2.5. So to get k, divide both sides by 2.5. So when you do so, you're going to have 3.2 equal to k. That's what you're going to be getting. Now, we're going to put this 3.2 into this very expression. We're going to put it back into this very expression. That will be x equal 3.2. So we're going to be having 3.2 y squared all over p. So this is what we have. So this is the formula connecting x, y, and p. So we have x. So this is x equal 3.2 y squared. And no need for me to repeat that. Let's just solve the equation. So it says find the value of x when y is 2 and p equal 1 over 3. So this time around, we are having y as 3. So this will be 3 squared divided by 1 over 3. Now this will be 3.2 times 9. Now if you take the inverse of something, the 3 goes to the top. So this is times 3 over 1. So the 3 goes to the top. Now this will give you 86.4. That's what that will give to you. So that's B. The answer to that very equation is B. Now, for question 52, you're going to use a calculator for this one. So I think there should be a calculator on the screen. When you use that very calculator, first of all, let me write this in standard form. So the first number is 2.67 times 10 to the power of, we're moving 1, 2, 3. So minus 3. And then we're finding the product, so we're going to say times. Now for this very one, we're going to have 4.86. So we're moving 1, 2, 3. So that's times 10 to the power of minus 3. Now we're going to multiply these two. If you multiply them, you're going to get 12.9762 times 10. Now, since we're dealing with things that have the same base, they have the same base, we're going to be adding them up. So this is 10 to the power of minus 3, 10 to the power of minus 3. So minus 3 minus 3 is minus 6. So that will be minus 6. Now if you notice, this is not yet in standard form. So this 12 is actually 1.29762 times 10. If you notice, we're moving backwards. So this will be to the power of 10. The 10 is going to be to the power of plus 1. And then times 10 to the power of minus 6. Now this is very close to 1.3 times 10 to the power of 1 minus 6 is minus 5. So the answer becomes D. That's our answer, becomes D. Question 52. Let the probability function on set S, where S is equal to this. Okay. So it says we have to find P of A1, that's probability of the event A. If probability of A2 is this, probability of A3 is this, probability of A4 is equal to this. So to start with, you need to know that probability functions, when you add up probabilities, you should get 1. So probability of A1 plus probability of A2 plus probability of A3 plus probability of A4 should actually give you 1. So probability of A1 is what we're looking for. Probability of A2, 1 over 3, A3, 1 over 6, A4, 1 over 5, equal to 1. So This will be probability of A1 equal. Now move every other thing to the other side. So this is 1 minus 1 over 3 minus 1 over 6 minus 1 over 5. Now the LCM of 3, 6, and 5 is 30. 30. That's what it's going to be, 30. Now, this 1 here can actually be written as 1 over 1. So 30 divided by 1 is 30, times 1 is 30, minus 30 divided by 3. That gives 10. 10 times 1 is 10. Minus 30 divided by 6 is 5. 5 times 1, 5. Minus 30 divided by 5 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. So this will then become 30 minus 10 is 20. 20 minus 5 is 26. So that's 26. Sorry, 15. Then 15 minus 6 is 9. So this is 9 over 30. Now 3 can go in here. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So the answer is going to be D. That's what the answer is going to be. Okay. Okay. Now question 54 is wrong also. I don't know why, but I've seen it countless times. I even checked other websites and it wasn't solved. So the question was not given properly. So first things first, here's what I'm going to do. In an election, there were 4 candidates. 5 over 6 of the electors voted for the winner. So we already have 5/6 voting for the winner. So what will be remaining? It's going to be 1 over 6, right? Because we have 5 over 6 that have voted for the winner already. So the remaining people will be 1 over 6. Think of it this way. There were 6 people. 5 out of that 6 voted for the winner. So the remaining person, 1 out of 6, is going to be for the remaining people. So it says the runner-up, which is the next person in line, received 4 over 7 of that remaining vote, which is 1 over 6. The remaining vote is 1 over 6. So this is basically 2 here is 2, and into this is 3. So this will be 2 over 21 of the voters. Now they said that if the winner received 3,021 votes more than the runner-up, how many electors voted? So here's the thing. The winner here is actually 5 over 6 V. The winner is 5 over 6 of the voters. The runner-up is 2 over 21 of the voters. That's saying that the winner is receiving more. So this means that the difference between what the winner got and the runner-up is actually 3,021. The difference between both of them. Because the winner actually has to get higher. So the difference between these two will give us 3,021. Now for us to solve this, the LCM here for this number is 42. So 42 divided by 6 will give us 7. 7 times 5 will give us 35. So this is 35V. Minus 42 divided by 21 is 2. 2 times 2V is 4V. Alright. So that's 4V. Equal 3,021. Hold on. Okay. So there are some little lags. I don't know why it's lagging. So this would be 31V divided by 42 equal 3,021. So we could cross multiply. We could multiply by the 42. So 31V is equal 3,021 divided by 42. So I said divided. Sorry, that's supposed to be 8 times. Because when you cross multiply, 3,021 will be multiplied by 42. So times 42. So V would then become 3021 times 42 over 31 because we have to divide both sides by that. So this would then give us a decimal number of people, so which is approximately 4093, approximately this number. But none of that is in the option. So any other thing I do is basically going to be an assumption. So the answer is not in the option. So let's just move on. Since the answer is not in the option. Okay, since the answer is not in the option. All right, let's just go to the next one. So next, during 2 years in school, 7/8 of the students had malaria, 1/4 had catarrh, and 5/6 had neither. What fraction of the school had both malaria and catarrh? Okay, so for a start, since we're talking about fraction here, you need to know this formula. The number of those, in this case, malaria and catarrh, malaria or catarrh, that's together, is number of those that had malaria plus number of those that had catarrh plus number of those that had neither of them, because they were still members of the school. The members that did not have any of them, then minus those that had both of them. So this formula actually stays. All right, so everybody in the school is equal to 1. We're talking about fractions here. So that's going to be 1. Equal to number of those that had malaria, 7/8. Number of those that had catarrh, 1/4. Number of those that were neither is 5/6. And then minus number of those that are having malaria and catarrh together. Okay. So the next is, we're going to add up. So let's add up. This is 1 equal. The LCM here is, let me see, that 48. Hold on. 24. 24. Okay. So 24 divided by 8, that will give us 3. 3 times 7 is 21. 24 divided by 4 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So this is 1 equal. 21 plus 6 is 27. 27 plus this will give us 47 over 24. Then minus n m intersection C. Well, this is already a problem, but let's continue so you see why it's a problem. So, take this to the other side. We're going to then have, hold on. So this is 1 minus 47 over 24 equal minus n m intersection C. Okay. Now I can put over 1 here. I can put on over 1 here and then take the LCM again. So 24 and 1 here will give me 24 times 1, 24 minus 47 equal to minus the intersection between both of them. So this will give me minus 23 over 24 equal to minus m. Okay. So minus will cancel out minus. So that's 23 over 24. So equal to this. All right. Now the problem with this is if you add up all of these values, it's more than 1. That's the issue. So if you notice at this very region, at this very region, because that's the problem. Let's see. Because first of all, none of this is in the option. So the option does not have 23 over 24. It's not in the option. Not there. So the issue is this. Already, if you add up those that have malaria, those that have catarrh, and those that are outside, so they don't have any of them, it's already more than one. It's already more than one. Yep. It shouldn't be so. That's basically what we are saying. It shouldn't be so. So something is not right about the equation. It shouldn't be so. So that's the thing. The equation is inconsistent. It shouldn't be so. Because even if we tend to remove this number, let me check something. Hold on. Right, 1 over 6. Mm, 1 over 4. So 7 over 8. 2 over 8. And then minus some number x. So when you add this, you should get 9 over 8 minus x. Nah, it's not right. This is already more. Okay. Anyways, the answer is not in the option anyway, so let's move on. The answer is not in the option. But this is how it's supposed to be done. But the answer is not in the option. Next one. So question 36. 3 over 4 of a class of 32 students study English. So what's 3/4 of 32? 3 over 4 times 32 times 32. So 4 here is 1. This is 8, so that's 24. So number of those doing English is 24. Oh gosh, what was in my eye? Number of those doing this would be 24. Sorry, number of those doing English. Number of those doing English. The number of those doing maths. Number of those doing maths. That would be 3 over 8, like 3/4 of that 32. So 3 over 8. That's just double of this number though. That's just double of this number. Let's see. When you divide, yeah, half of it, sorry, that's 12. But let's do it. Times 32. 8 here is 1, and into this is 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, so every student studies at least one of these subjects. So at least somebody must do one of them. Somebody must do one of them. What fraction of the class studies mathematics but not English? So, to start with, the total number of students here is 32. Total is equal to 32. That's what we can see. Total number of students is 32. Now, this means that those that are doing both English and maths, so both English and maths will become, so using this formula, number of those doing maths and English will become the total number of students minus those doing English minus those doing maths. So that's 32 minus 24 minus 12. So that will give us 4. So there are 4 students that are doing both of them. 4 students are doing both of them. So they're saying those doing mathematics but not English. So if we are doing both of them, to get mathematics only, mathematics only. Now take note, 12 students do math, but they're saying that 4 are also doing chemistry because that's the number of those doing math and English. What did I say? It's chemistry and English. So this means those that are doing only math but not English will become 12 minus 4. So that's 8. So we have 8 students that are doing only mathematics. So the fraction of the class, that will become 8 over 32 because there are 8 students that are doing math only and then there are 32 in number. That's 1 over 4. So the answer is A. That's the answer to that very equation. Next one. Water flows through a 3 centimeter diameter, I like converting to radius, at a rate of 3 meters per second. How many centimeter cube of water flows through it in 1 second? That's a simple one. So first of all, I want to find radius. So radius is 3 cm over 2. That's 1.5 cm. Okay, now at a rate of 3 meters per second. So I would like to change this very rate here, this very 3 meters, 2 centimeters. So the rate is going to be let me use rate. It's going to be 300 centimeter per second. Is that okay? All right. So we're saying that how many centimeter cubed? How many centimeter cubed? So this is area times length. Area times length. Those of you that watched my JAM video, I did something similar to this. So the area of the pipe, the area of that very one surface, like the area of the mouth of the pipe, times how long the pipe is, gives us the volume of that very pipe. Now basically, it might not make sense, but what I've just found is the volume of a cylinder, because we need the area of one surface then times the height. So that's what we're going to be using. So the area is pi r squared times the length. So let's see. Times the length. How many centimeter cubed of water? Okay, let's see. So we have, what's this guy called? 1.5. So this would be pi brackets 1.5 squared. That's what we're going to be having. And then, let's see. Do I have to press my calculator for this? Hold on. Okay. So this very rate, let's continue. Our rate is 300 centimeter per second. What this rate tells us is, this is length per second. If you look at this, it's telling us the length per second. So in 1 second, it flows through 300 cm. That's the length per second. It flows through this. In 1 second, it covers a length of 300. So this will be times 300. Move. I think I'm going to cancel this very soon. 300. Okay, so when we do this, 1.5 squared is 2.25. And then times 300 is 675. So this is 675 pi. Now this very value would give us 2120.57. And of course, it's approximated to 2121 centimeter cube per second. So that's what the answer is going to become. That's question 57. Next one. So the next one. Yep. My note is not responding. Hold on. this video would have just been one, but I would have to cut this because my notepad is not responding. Oh no. Okay. All right. So this one says the product of two numbers is 12. The sum of the larger number. First of all, the product is 12. So what I know myself, what I will go and do is to multiply numbers together. This one, number 1 over 2 is 3 over 2. So I want to write them as 3 over 2. Here again, 3 over 2. Then here, 3 over 2. So I'm going to times them. 4 times 3 is 12. So this is a potential answer. 8 times 3 over 2 is also 12. Still a potential answer. 3 times 3 over 2 is not a potential answer because that will not give us 12 when we multiply. So the C option will not give us 12. So it cannot be C. Then next, the D option too cannot give us our answer. So let's proceed. The sum of the larger number and twice the smaller is 11. So let's try this out with 4. So the sum of 4 plus 2 times the smaller one, which is 2 times 3. Let's see if it will give us 11. So this is 4 plus 6, which is 10. No, it doesn't give us 11. Let's try the other one. So 8, which is the bigger number, plus 2 times 3 over 2. Because it says twice the smaller one. So 2 we cancel out 2 here. We have 8 plus 3, so that's 11. That'll be everything that they solve. Okay. So next, a city B is 205 kilometers from a village C on a bearing of 35 degrees. How far is B east of C? Okay, I think maybe when I get to question 60 or so, I might stop. I have to stop because my note is no longer responding. Okay, so a city B from a village C. Okay, so let's draw the village C. So this is 35, and then this is 205 kilometers. And then B. So this is where B is, this is where C is. How far is B east of C? So let's see east of C. First of all, this is east. So we're basically taking this direction. Yep, hold on. So east of this and then this. So we're forming a triangle that looks like this. Okay, because at any point, so the only point that connects will become this very line. So we're looking for this very distance. So let me call that X. So going from this, if this is 35, to get this other angle here, we need to do 90 minus 35. And 90 minus 35 will give us 55. So this is 55. So going by this, this is the opposite, this is the hypotenuse, and this is the adjacent. So we're using cosine here. So cosine of 55 degrees, remember that cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So our adjacent is X divided by hypotenuse is 205. So this tells us, can this 90 over 35 go away? Oh gosh. I think I would have to stop this because the system is not responding. So to get X will become 205 cosine of 55. So let me pick up a calculator for that. This is 205 cos 55. Okay, so that's 117.58. Okay, so that's approximately 117.6. So that's what we're going to get. That's what we're going to be getting. All right. Okay, let's move to the next one. So I'll just maybe end at 60 before restarting. If two graphs, this and this, intersect at s equal to 2, find the value of p in terms of q. Something is not right. Okay, something is not right. I think there's a misprint here, but I'll give you the right one. So it says that s is equal to 2. So let's put the value of x into each graph. So y is equal p brackets 2 squared plus q. So this will be y equal 4p plus q. So keep that one. Now for the second one, y is 3x squared minus 1. So anyway I see x, I'm going to put 2. That will be 3 brackets 2 squared minus 1. That's 2 squared is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So that's 12 minus 1, which is 11. Now these two values will be equal to each other because they're both y's. So 4p plus q will equal to 11. All done. P plus q is equal to 11. So we're finding p in terms of q. So it means we're making p the subject of the formula. So take q to this side. This will be 4p equal to 11 minus q. Then to get p, you divide both sides by 4. So the answer becomes 11 minus q over 4. That's the answer. Okay. Question 61. Let A be an event with probability equal to 0.14. Find the probability of the complement of event A. So for something like this, probability of A plus probability of A complement, the complement should be inside, is equal to 0.14. That's what it's going to be. So it's going to be 0. It's going to be equal to 1. Sum of probabilities is always equal to 1. I'm just starting, and why are you freezing? It's equal to 1. Oh no. This is giving up on me. Please just allow me to complete this before you start misbehaving. It's equal to 1. Alright, so probability of A complement is equal 1 minus probability of A. So that's going to be 1 minus. Probability of A is 0.14. When you subtract this, you get 0.86. So the answer is D. Next one. A box contains 5 blue balls, 3 red balls, and 4 green balls. If a ball is chosen at random, what is the probability that it is either blue or red? So the first thing you might want to do is to find the sum of the blue and red balls. Since we need to pick either blue or red, let's just add it up. So there are 5 blue. So that's 5 plus red, which is 8. So that's 8 balls. Now, how many balls do we have in total? If we add the 4 to get the 1 into, that would be 12. So 4 over 12. Now when you, 8 over 12, which is C. It's even easy. So let's move on to the next one. Now this question 63, we've done it before. So let's leave it out. We've done it before. Okay. So the next one says, find the slope of the curve y equal 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 at 1, 4. So for this one, let's differentiate first. So dy dx is going to become 4x plus 5. Now this very thing we found is the expression for the slope. This is the expression for the slope. So what we're going to be doing is, this is x and this is y. But there's basically no y in the expression we have for the gradient. So what we're going to do is, anywhere we see x in that expression, we're going to put the value of x, which is 1. So m is going to become 4 times 1 plus 5. So that's going to be 4 plus 5, which is 9. So our answer is D. The next one. So for the next one, determine the maximum value of this very curve. That's still differentiation. So let's differentiate this. dy dx will give us 6x minus 3x squared. Now we're going to equate this to 0 because at the point where it is turning, so either be maximum or minimum, at that very point, the gradient is 0. So 6x minus 3x squared is going to equal to 0. Oh my gosh. 6x minus 3x squared is equal to 0. So let's factorize this. 3x will be common. So 6x divided by 3s is 2 because 6 over 3 is 2. And then minus 3s squared divided by 3s will just give us x equal to 0. Now any of this could have been 0. So 3s is equal to 0 or 2 minus x is equal to 0. So here we divide both sides by 3 here. X is equal to 0 because 0 divided by 3 is 0. Or, now for this one, we could easily say that we're going to move the minus s to the other side so that it becomes easy. So this is 2 equal to x because if this minus s goes, it's going to become positive. Now the thing is this, one of these will be for the maximum. One of these will be for the minimum. So one is for max, one is for minimum. Ideally, there's a test for this. Ideally, there's a way to know which of the x value would be for minimum and which of the y values would be for maximum. Hold on. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is this. In this case, we're just going to be using x equal to 2. So we're going to be using x equal to 2. So that's the value at which is going to be maximum. Because this x value is big, but that's not the reason. Okay, let me give you the condition here, but I'm not going to use the condition. So d squared y by ds squared is greater than 0 if you have minimum value. D squared y by ds squared is less than 0 if you have maximum value. Okay. So to use this, it means you need to differentiate twice. So differentiate again and then put your x value 0 and 2. Anyone that gives you a number here, that will tell you which one you should use. That's going to tell you the one to use. But I'll just go ahead because I know x equal to 2 will give me the maximum value. So y is equal 3s squared minus s cubed. So this will be 3 brackets 2 squared minus 2 cubed. So 2 squared is 4 times 3 is 12 minus 8. So that's going to be 4. So that's it. So the answer for that question is going to become C. Okay, next one. Next one. Okay, so the next one says, by how much will the mean of 30, 56, 31, 55, 44, and 44 be less than the median? So by how much will it be less? So for a start, let's kind of arrange this. So 30, 31, 43, 44, 45, is that 45? Hold on. 55. It's even difficult to even erase. Oh gosh, this is beginning to give up on me. 55 and then 56. Okay, so let's get the mean first of all. So the mean is the sum of all the numbers. So mean will become the sum of all the numbers here. 30 plus 31 plus 43 plus 44 plus 55 plus 56 divided by, we have 6 numbers here. So when you do this, you're going to get 43.166, like continuously. That's what you're going to get. Then the median will become the sum of these two numbers here. 43 plus 44 over 2. So this will be 43.5. So it says, by how much will the mean be less? Because, we could see that it's less. That's 43.5 minus 43.1667. So this is going to be 0.333. That's the answer when you subtract that. Question 67 says, the range of the following numbers is dash. Range is highest minus lowest. The highest here is 61, which is actually a problem because that's weird. So we're going to do 61 minus, the lowest number here is 3. The lowest number is going to be 3. I'm waiting for it to respond. Hold on. Okay. So this is 58. So that's the problem. I don't think that's correct. So maybe this was supposed to be 21, not 61. So if it's 21, that means the highest will then become 27. And 27 minus 3 is 24. So I think that was a typo. So the answer becomes 24. So I think the largest is 24. The largest is 27, not 61. So there was a typo here. Next one. Question 68 says, the mean of the numbers 3, 6, 4, x, and 7 is 5. Find a standard deviation. So first, we need to know what the value of x is. Remember that mean, to get the sum of the numbers, let's do mean times how many numbers there are. So the mean has been given to us as 5, and there are 5 numbers. So the sum of the numbers should give us 25. So let's add up. 3 plus 6. 3 plus 6 is 18. 18 plus 4 is 22. 22 plus 7. Sorry, am I adding? Oh no, gosh. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 7 is 20. So this is 20 plus x. So x will then become 25. Take away 20. So that's 5. So that's the number. That's what the number would be. Okay. So what we're going to do here is to find our standard deviation now. So let's get our deviations first. So the numbers we have are 3. The mean is 5. 3 minus 5 is minus 2. 6 minus 5 is 1. 4 minus 5 is minus 1. X is 5. So 5 minus 5 is 0. And then 7 minus 5 is 2. So we're going to take the square of everything here. Square of everything. And then we're going to add it up. So let's add it up. So we're adding it. Okay, so let's take the sum of our deviation. We're going to take the sum of the deviation. So minus 2 squared, that's 4. This is 1. This is 1. And this is 4. So when you add this up, you're going to get 10. So that's our sum of deviations. Now, standard deviation is the square root of the sum of deviations squared. So the sum of our deviations squared. Hold on. So it's the sum of deviations squared divided by how many numbers there are. So this is square root of 10 over 5, which is square root of 2. So the answer is A. All right, so we found that. The next one is question 69. Find the remainder when 3x cubed plus 5x squared minus 11x plus 4 is divided by x plus 3. Now in this case, we use remainder theorem. This is something you've learned during JAMB. So we're going to use remainder theorem for this. So first thing we're going to do is that thing that is dividing, the x plus 3 is what's dividing. So we're going to equate it to 0. So x plus 3. Oh no, can you respond? So x plus 3 is equal to 0. So x is equal to minus 3. Now, anywhere we see x here in the polynomial, we're going to put minus 3. So these 3 brackets minus 3 cubed plus 5 brackets plus 5 brackets minus 3 squared minus 11 bracket minus 3 plus 4. So this will be 3 brackets minus 27 because minus 3 cubed is minus 27. And then plus 5. And then plus 5. I must complete this video whether this system likes it or not. It must. So plus 5 brackets minus 3 squared is 9. And then minus 11 times minus 3 is plus 33. And then plus 4. So this is minus 3 times 27 should give us 81. So that's minus 81. So this is minus 81 plus 45 plus 33 plus 4. So when you add everything up, you should get 1. So everything here is going to give us positive 1. So that's what we're going to be getting. Okay, so that's B. What are the integral values of x which satisfies the inequality? So that's the inequality. So let's move 3 to the other side. Let's move 3 to the other side. So we're going to be having minus 2x. Oh gosh. Minus 2x. So minus 2x is less than or equal to 5 minus 3. So minus 2x is less than or equal to 2. To get x, we divide by minus 2. So this will be 2 divided by minus 2. So x is 2 divided by minus 2 is minus 1. So greater than or equal to minus 1. Now what do you notice? You notice I changed the inequality sign. When you divide by a negative number, you have to change the inequality sign. So it says greater than or equal to minus 1. So the first integral value is going to be minus 1 because it's in fact equal to minus 1. It's equal to minus 1. So that's 8 for that. It's equal to minus 1. Okay. So that's C. The next one. So question 71. Waiting for it to respond. Oh gosh.